Okay, so today we're going to do finding slope and graphing lines. This is the notes for 2-1. Okay, formula for the slope is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So for the first group of questions, we're going to find the slope of the line containing the given points. All right, so you're going to have x, this is going to be your x1 and your y1. This is your x2 and your y2. Okay, so now we're just going to, using this equation, plug these values in back into this formula. So you're going to take y2, which is 8, and subtract, your formula says minus, your y1, which is 2, divided by x2, which is 4, minus your x1, which is negative 6. Okay, so we had 4 minus a negative 6 makes it a positive. So now you're going to have 8 minus 2, which is 6 over 10. And you reduce that, divide the 6 by 2, you get 3, and divide the 10 by 2, and you get 5. So m is equal to 3/5. Okay. So now we can do number 3. We're going to have m is equal to your y2, which is 6, minus your y1, which is negative 3, over your x2, which is 2, minus your x1, which is 2. So now you're going to go 6 minus a negative 3 is a positive, equals 9 over 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, so that is, anytime you get a number over 0, it's undefined. It is not a solution. Okay, so it's undefined and there is no slope. Okay, so on your homework, you may have one where you're going to get, if we solve this one up here, you're going to get m is equal to negative 3 minus negative 3 over negative 1 minus 2. Okay, now a minus a negative makes it a positive. So you have negative 3 plus 3, and you get 0. And then you get negative 1 minus 2 equals negative 3. Okay, anytime you get 0 as the numerator, your answer is 0. Okay, so m is equal to 0. Anytime you have 0 over a number, the answer is 0. Okay, but on the other example where we had 9 over 0, 0 is in your denominator, it's undefined and there is no slope. Okay, so know the difference between those two. Okay, so now let's fill in our chart. A positive slope goes up and to the right. Up to right. Okay, a negative slope goes down to the right. So down to right. The 0 slope is horizontal. Okay. For example, it's going to be like y is equal to 3 or y is equal to 7. Okay, it's a horizontal. You don't have an x value. And then the undefined slope is going to give you a vertical line. Okay. And that's going to be x is equal to 1 or x is equal to 5. Okay, there's no y value. You're just giving it an x value and it's vertical. There's undefined slope. Okay, so now let's fill in these statements. Parallel lines have slopes that are the same. So when you're given two lines and they have the same slope, they're parallel. And then perpendicular lines that have slopes that are negative, reciprocal, or also opposite, reciprocal, whichever way you want to say it, but either way. Okay, opposite reciprocal. Okay, so that means opposite reciprocal, if you're not familiar with that, if you have the slope of 3, and you want to find the perpendicular slope, it would be negative 1/3. So it's opposite the sign. So this was a positive, so it becomes negative. And then the reciprocal. So 3 is the same thing as 3 over 1. And to find the reciprocal, you flip it. So it becomes 1/3. Okay, so look here. Determine whether each of the following lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So we need to use our equation. We need to find the slope of line 1, and we need to find the slope of line 2. So for line 1, the slope is going to be 2 minus 1 over 7 minus 4. So you're going to get 2 minus 1 is 1, and 7 minus 4 is 3. Okay, so for line 2, you're going to get m is equal to 1 minus a negative 2 over 0 minus 1. So for line 2, you're going to get the 1 minus 2 becomes a positive. And you get 1 plus 2 equals 3 over negative 1. Okay? So, which is the same thing as negative 3. So if you're given, your slope for your first line is 1/3, and your slope for your second line is negative 3. Now you need to know, is that perpendicular, parallel, or neither? And 1/3, negative 3 is the opposite reciprocal of 1/3. So therefore, it means it's perpendicular. That's your answer. Perpendicular. Okay? So now let's do one more. Let's look at number 6. M for line 1, m is equal to 36 minus 9 over 8 minus negative 1. Okay? So 36 minus 9 equals 27. And then 8 minus negative 1 becomes a positive, and you get 9. So 27 divided by 9 equals 3. So now for line 2, you're going to get 13. 13 minus negative 8. And then 9 minus 2. So now 13 minus negative 8 becomes a positive, and you're going to get 21 divided by 7, which equals 3. So line 1 has a slope of 3, and line 2 has a slope of 3. So back to our rules, we said when they're the same, it is parallel. Okay? Parallel is the same. So your answer would be parallel. All right. So now let's look at this next section. Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Okay? And then your standard form is ax plus by equals c. Okay. So in this first one, you need to read the instructions. Graph the lines using the slope-intercept method. So because the instructions say to use this, that tells me I need to use the slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. Okay? So if you're looking at the equation, it already looks like this, so we don't need to do anything to it. You can tell that m is equal to negative 1/2, and the b is equal to 2, because it's already in the right form. So your b is equal to your slope, your m, and your b is equal to your y-intercept. And what is your y-intercept? Where it crosses the y-axis. Okay? Remember that from Algebra 1. Okay, so we're going to go back over here, and we've got this. The y-intercept is 2. So you're going to come over here on your y-axis, and you're going to go up 2 and plot your point. And now we have our slope is negative 1/2. So we're going to come back over to our graph, and remember we said negative was down. It was to the right and down. So you're going to go down 1 over 2. down 1 and to the right 2. 1, 2. Down 1 and to the right 2. Okay? And now you're going to make your line look something like this, and make sure you put your arrows on the end. Okay? So now we graphed our line using our slope-intercept form. Okay, so now let's look at number 8. All right, so we're trying to get it in slope. The instructions are the same, so we still need to get it in slope-intercept form. But it doesn't look like that, so we need to change it. So you're going to solve for y so you can get it in this form. So you're going to add your 3x to both sides. And you're going to get 4y equals 3x plus 24. Now you're going to divide both sides by 4. And you're going to get y is equal to 3/4 x plus 6. So your m now, it's in the right form. Your m is 3/4 and your b is 6. So now we're going to graph it. We're going to put our y-intercept as 6. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And your slope was 3/4. So that means we're going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3, and to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now if I continue to do that, I'm going to go off my chart. So I'm going to go opposite. So I'm going to go down and to the left. All right, like a negative. It would be like a negative and a negative, which equals a positive. So down 3 and then to the left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Plot that point. Let me plot that line. Okay, so I got that graph. Okay, so for our last one, we're going to do our instructions changed on this page. Graph the lines using the intercept method. Okay, so when it says intercept, that means you're going to be solving for your x-intercept and your y-intercept. Okay, so to find your x-intercept, you're going to put y equal to 0. So you're going to take your original equation, 3x plus 5, but where it says y, you're going to put 0. So you're going to put 0 equals 15. Now then, this 5 times 0 is 0, so you're left with 3x equals 15, and x is equal to 5. Okay, so you know your point now. Where x is equal to 5, y is equal to 0. Now then, for your y-intercept, you're going to put x equal to 0. So you're going to rewrite your equation with 3, and you're going to put 0 for x, plus 5y equals 15. So 3 times 0 is 0. So it becomes 5y equals 15, and your y is equal to 3. So now your second point, you're going to have x is 0, and y is 3. So now we have 2 points, and we can find our line. So you're going to have x is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0. And then you're going to have 0, 3. So 0x and then 1, 2, 3y. It's going to look like that, and you're going to graph those points. Make that line, okay? Okay. All right, so that is it for the notes.